My name is Gerardo Garza. Right here. The documentary about eugenics was explaining how the US was once believed that it could prove humanity by controlling who could have children. They usually thought some people were better, like the white people, the wealthy people, the native born Americans, and the others were just worse, like immigrants, minorities, poor people, like disabled people who are fitting with the wealthy or white people. That's why not. They force sterilization where people like, if you understand, it's a little joke. They couldn't have kids no more. They restricted immigration and they labeled the groups as unfit. Like during one of the wars, I remember they said the military was unfit around. I think it was World War I. I had a question about it on my final on what was it? It was kinesiology, actually. They used fake science and they said that races were actually inferior, like naturally. Immigrants who weaken America isn't true. Poverty and crime were inherited. They try to make discrimination sound scientific. They may try to make it like a scientist said it instead of like some random BS. They wanted fewer immigrants from Southern and Eastern Europe, and the laws were made to limit those groups actually. They preferred Northern Europeans. They were superior, quote unquote. They were labeled superior than the Eastern or Southern Europeans. Some immigration policies still focus on strict limits, like treat service like, well, it's a connection to today that they focus on strict limits. They treat certain groups as more desirable, and they use fear about crime or economy. It's not open. It's not that openly like back then, like open more about race, but it's still there. The immigration policies, or well, let me run it back. They thought that they could hurt the inferior ones, and then my little notes. Considered American, they said on that. They considered Americans to be tied to a race and ethnicity, and the Europeans' backgrounds. Immigrants and minorities were often excluded, and it shows that national identity has been shaped by exclusion. Instead of being welcome, they were always left out, and they bring influence to the people who don't, and often racial biases. I lost track a little bit over here. Well, that's all. It also concluded in the 1920s controlling what populations which are allowed and which are excluded in the 1920s. Yes.